watched your show. You have to be serious, guy. Forget that you're drinking. No having fun in this interview, damn it.
Yeah.
No fun. Oh, okay.
So who do you guys have with you? Who's the grumpy guy in the corner?
Oh, it's me.
Yeah, who are you? Artem?
Hello, my name is Artem. Ich komme aus Russland.
Straight into German. And Artem, I actually been following your work for quite some time. It's quite interesting that the guys brought you here. Can you tell us about your record label?
Oh, of course, I can say some words. I have a record label. It's called Sierpien Records. Most releases I making dedicated to new Russian post-punk scene, which have a really interesting period time. Haven't much practice for a long time. So I focused on modern Russian post-punk scene. If you're interested, I will show you some pictures of releases. I prepared something. That's most necessary information about Sierpien Records.
I'm very interested. Show me some pictures.
Okay. I release CDs, cassettes, vinyls. I took with me 2 vinyls. For example, this one, it's Russian post-punk band from Zeros, ПТВП, Последние танки в Париже. In English, it's called Last Tanks in Paris. And their classical post-punk album, Зеркало, Mirror. For example, this one, it's my band, Sierpien. I also issued it on my label. Also, I can show you some cassettes, for example, Ukrainian band Gentle Ropes, Группа Хмурый, Moscow post-punk band, Supernova 1006, and Дурной Вкус. Many people know this band because of their most popular song, Пластинки Records. Also, one of my big friends and best releases, Molchat Doma. I think many people nowadays know them.
Yep, definitely. And seen them live because those guys are touring Europe like non-stop.
Yes.
Yeah.
Ploho, also famous post-punk band. I think.
Seen them live.
Uh,
It was all at Kalabalik Festival. Have you been to Kalabalik?
I haven't been, but I know that Molchat Doma and Ploho played there together. Yep. Nuremberg, it's also Belarusian band. Guys are brothers of Molchat Doma. If you talk about Kalabalik, Electroforez,
yep.
My last releases.
Too.
Also popular band not in Russian, but in other world, Конец электроники, the end of electronics. Many people know.
We did a Russian music special a few shows ago, and I think it's the first time I heard that band, and I really liked it. That's actually one band that I took away. I was like, I need to check into this band.
But in Russia, they're totally unknown. They haven't played any concerts. Stereopolina, our synth pop queen.
Oh, I love Stereopolina. Really love you. You're releasing Stereopolina?
Yes, I'm making concerts for her and release her records. Shtat, ДК Postoronnih, Sasha.
Yeah, it's me. Yeah.
I also release in not only Russian scene, but СНГ как будет? Post-Soviet scene.
Да.
I show you some Belarusian bands, and also I release Ukrainian bands. Marwan, Ulitsa Vostok. It's
Cool.
my last release.
This is a super busy guy, man. That's like a lot of stuff you released.
He's collecting his records that fallen from the table. Yeah.
It's covering all of the floor.
Sounds like Artem, like we can spend hours talking about your work. You have so many releases and you're so busy.
Yeah.
How many do you have in total?
Oh, I think now I have around 170.
No.
I think if we count CDs, cassettes, and vinyls, it will be more, but it's the number of releases at all. Some of them are in 3 or 2 versions. I think yes.
And how many years? How many years did it take you?
I ran a label in 2016, I think.
5 years.
5 years, yes.
Oh, 100 and how many in 5 years? Wow.
180 or 70.
It's really crazy. How do you manage? How are you managing this? Are you sleeping ever?
Big crazy Russian
Non-stop,
guy.
yeah.
Yes, I work non-stop, and I think it's period in history of Russian post-punk music, for example, when I need to release and release as much as I can.
I should say that Artem depicts the whole scene, and the picture of what's going on, it's really Artem. He has been releasing almost everything that's happening, more or less significant. Sometimes less, sometimes more, like in cases of Molchat Doma, for instance. He also made CD versions of the Postoronnih and my bands.
Yes.
So he's doing everything.
Because it's a big time for this music now in Russia and in the world, because it's really crazy situation when which nobody can imagine. For example, 10 years ago, even 4 years ago, then most popular post-punk band in the world will be singing in Russian. I talking about Molchat Doma.
Every DJ set that I hear is including post-Soviet bands, not specifically Russian, but post-Soviet, Ukrainian, Belarusian, Russian. And I think that's something so new, and every underground DJ is obsessed with Russian stuff, post-Soviet stuff.
Yes, it's really insane. For example, some bands from other countries, from Latin America, from USA, from Europe, wrote me a letter like, we influenced by bands from your label like Ploho, Molchat Doma, Grotesque Sexuality. We play in this style. We want to be on your label. It's really crazy.
So guys, you also have a label. You are the stars of today's interview, so let's make you work for it a little bit.
Sure. It was actually Sasha's idea. Sasha, tell us your sad story. How did you come to create?
This is my favorite sad story.
Oh.
Or I'll forget myself. The main concept of the label was in one day. I think that I released the cassette of my label, and I think
Your band.
My band, yeah. And sorry.
Pavel, I'm taking you to every interview.
Yeah.
You're gonna help
Yeah.
me now with every interview.
Yeah, and
Please.
I think it's so easy. It's very easy. Make the music to the physical incarnation.
You see how he disrespects you, Artem? You hear him? He's saying it's easy what you're doing. That son of a bitch.
We're doing the same thing, but very slow
Yeah.
and tender.
It's because I'm from Moscow and they're from Saint Petersburg.
You came from Moscow for this interview?
Yes, I moved.
Okay. Okay, I feel a little bit less special. Okay.
It's all right.
You need to lie better. You need to be like, yes, all the way from Moscow for this one interview.
Big producer. He booked a flight. Yeah.
I know this is a very important interview. Okay, Sashenka, as I heard that's the proper way to call you.
Yeah, and one day I think that I want to help Russian bands make the physical incarnation, and I want to do it. And I talk with Pasha and one of my friends that let's start something. Yeah. And ничего не получилось. Не знаю, как красивее об этом сказать. Короче, как привязать к импотенции?
So that was it, and it's quite an Impotenzia 435 style that we failed. We tried, but we failed. Yeah. And eventually Sasha's bandmate, he wanted to join, but he is a bit slow on taking decisions. And I am a neurotic kind of person, and I make things faster. So we've made it. So we've made it together. Neurotic person, yeah, and he is a erotic person. Okay. So we were thinking what to start with, and the most obvious decision to make a band we both would want to have on a tape. And for us it was Borghezia, and the second album. It's their second album. It's their soundtrack album called Clones. It was released on tape in 1995, if I'm not mistaken. And it was released by Josh of Dark Entries, something like 9 years ago on vinyl, and it was sold out. So we decided to make a small and modest tape that we both would enjoy and some other fans would enjoy.
Yeah,
and that was it. It included a postcard on silver, and it included stickers and all the stuff. Contradictory to Artem, we make things very slow. We can take a couple of months or something like that to make the release happen.
A couple of months is not so slow. I mean, compared to Artem, yeah, okay. I get you.
It's eternity.
And then you drank a lot, and then you made a drunken project, Impotenzia.
Yeah, the central point was, короче, по-быстрому, давай, ты говори о том, что типа нужно было дать разгон лейблу для того, чтобы нужно было издать.
Whoa, we can totally do it in Russian, no problem.
No.
По-русски почему нет?
We want in first. First point as a concept of the label, and it helps, was released most underground and outside music from Russia that never been released on physics, and never was released on physics. And we understand that when we start from the some underground stuff from Russia. No one know to buy it. No one want to listen to it, and so on. That's we suppose that we should start from the music that we both like very much. То, о чем говорил ты до этого.
Well, honestly speaking, I wasn't aware of that, and it was like, let's make some good stuff. And
but I mean, it's much better story. Maybe you should reconsider your biography of your label. I mean, Sasha told a much better story. This is really, really good. There was bands that no one would pay attention to, super outsider bands who had very hard time getting releases. This is what I got.
Well, Sasha is a modest type of person, and he speaks about his own band because
I know the bands you have, like Clair Obscure. It's definitely not fitting into this concept.
Yeah. Wait, we have Bogizia, if I shown you. We have our second release was Clair Obscure. It's Antigone and Daedalus. And it's the quite underestimated work, and it was released only on CD. And I have the CD. Sasha doesn't have the CD because he doesn't buy CDs. He prefers tapes and vinyls. And
90s was released.
Yeah, and we were like, it was actually like a theater soundtrack initially. And it's superb. It's really superb, and it's very underestimated of the whole Clair Obscure discography. So we decided to make it, and our third release was Zimnie Vidi Sporta. It's a very strange guy.
Very strange Russian music that now know and never been released.
No one knows, okay, but why he is our biggest star? Okay. Yeah, he was sold out, I think, even faster than Bogizia. And Clair Obscure still is not sold out.
And
for instance,
Obscure,
Zimnie Vidi Sporta and his later project called Żarok. I don't know if it's translatable at all.
Żarok, hotness.
Hottie.
What is it about a person then, Żarok? Because Hatsi is. Oh, okay.
No one knows. It's a question to him.
It's the name of the flower, of the Siberian flower. Żarok. Yeah, Żarok is a flower. Is an orange flower that grow all about the world, but has different names. It's orange flower that's grow near the small rivers and so on. I don't know how name Żarok.
Well, so this guy somehow being pretty anonymous, I would say, have gathered some sort of cult around him, and he has gigs here. He's had gigs abroad, and his records are being sold out. And perhaps you've heard his first project called Dom Modeli.
I released them.
Yeah, of course Artem released them. No surprise at all.
Is there other labels?
We have, I think, a quite good young label in Yekaterinburg. It's called NII. They release mostly really underground bands. My catalog have some пересечения, как crosses, cross with this label, but this label it's only underground bands. There are no really big names, but I think this guy Vadim who run NII make good things to my mind, and if we talk about another, I think not too many. Siania, it was label which released my first records of Sierpien, of my band, but now they are not so active, only little rare.
So I also wanted to ask, so you guys have like 1 million bands you're in? I know Grotesque Sexuality because I booked them for this festival, the t-shirt you're wearing there.
No, it was the previous festival. That was your gift 12 years ago.
Wait,
And,
you played in Lithuania, right?
Yeah, exactly. And this is Portugal.
Ah, yes. So Grotesque Sexuality, which I loved, but you have like now a huge list of bands that you and Sasha were in or are in.
Yes, for me, it's one of my best known bands is, for instance, Salome's Dance. You have it. It was, well, when there was a G-beat and goth punk revival 10 years ago, like bands like Last Tribe, Anasazi, and I don't know, Blue Cross, whatever. I got inspired by the wave, and when Grotesque Sexuality was breaking up, I created Salome's Dance, and we joined forces with Vadim from Britain of Bones, where actually Sasha played before. He's absent for a while, but he'll join us in a minute. And it was like more or less classic positive punk, goth punk band of that wave. We had 2 cassettes, both were released
Привет,
by
Саш.
both were released in Chicago by the band Cemetery, and our second cassette was actually split with Sapien, Artem's band.
Это как вы познакомились вот так? Потому что...
No, with Artem we met 12 years ago because he booked Grotesque Sexuality to play at the presentation of his first album of his first band.
And with Pasha, our first met was 10 years ago, without some months.
When I booked Prison of Bones.
When I play on Prison of Bones, and we came to the Saint Petersburg to play on a Pasha's festival. Yeah,
very old unity.
Yeah. Well, I used to run Grape Jibes fanzine. It was post-punk fanzine.
Really amazing fanzine, by the way.
Thank you. It functioned
I'm
from
a big fan.
2008 to 2012. Afterwards, I closed it, but we also made some gigs, including gigs of some Russian bands, some foreign bands.
Hey, I teach it there.
Yes. There. So we
100,000 years ago.
12 years ago. So we even have one DVD. That's from the very, very early gigs of Grape Jibes.
А у меня нету. Надо будет как-нибудь скачать.
I think you have it actually somewhere.
I probably do have. That's a problem. That's why banking codes. I lose everything.
That was 12 years ago, yeah. I think you don't even remember it. So afterwards, in Salome's Dance, I played bass because I had some crisis. First and foremost, I'm a poet, and I had some crisis writing lyrics, and I switched to bass, and I played bass for 3-4 years, something like that. And it was the Salome's Dance time, and our only long play was posthumously released by the French label Impotenzia, which also released Clair Obscur, Normaloy, and a lot of and a lot of bands that we all love, and our listeners, if somebody listens to it, also love for sure. Afterwards, I had an unsuccessful attempt to create a post-punk band, and at the same time, I joined a post-industrial minimal synth blah 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 project called Vredika B8037. That's what it looks like, and it's this record was actually re-released in Greece a few months ago, and it was sold out just the day it was released. And sadly, I can't show you the record because they're still on the way to me.
I need to bring my issue of these records.
Yeah, and Artem also made the issue of this record.
Respect.
Oh.
That's a lot of projects.
So briefly, yeah, that's
Plus Impotenzia, plus the record label, plus silent films, and poesia.
A lot of poetry. That's my first book of poetry that came out in December.
Congratulations, поздравляю.
Okay. It's a visual kind of poetry.
Между прочим, я 5 вечеров убил на то, чтобы фотошопить это.
Yeah,
Не, это пасхалка пусть будет, не переводи на английский.
Okay.
Слушай, ты думаешь, русские не смотрят это? Я думаю, смотрят.
Как я говорю, для русских пусть
для
пасхалка.
русских, ну да. Но вообще, в принципе, ты должен видео сделать, Саш. Ты чё? Ты чё, сука, а? Делай видео. Бля.
Не, я с удовольствием. Мне не хватает времени в сутках и сил.
Это я могу понять. Okay, Sashenka, let's go quickly through your projects so people can look up his bands.
Okay, yeah. Let's start it shit right now. Yeah. Pasha, take in my hand the cassette of my group. Yeah.
It's our latest release, by the way. Our labels, I mean.
No,
it's incredible. It's one of the best releases of this year.
Oh, thank you.
Okay, tell me what it is because I can't read it from a screen.
ДК Посторонних.
Да, это неплохо. У меня уже это есть.
The release named Karen Падаль in Russian.
А ты там что делаешь в этой группе?
Пишу музыку, пишу тексты.
English.
I'm
switching to Russian, so he's like, okay, it's Russian time.
I'm sorry. I'm a vocalist, the lyrics author, and we are half and half make the music. No,
that's a duo, yeah.
Yeah, it's a duo. Yeah, and I don't want to say more about this.
Okay, next band, you have more.
Next band, the previous band, I suppose, because previous band was Rata, I suppose. Yeah, Rata. It was a hardcore punk and goth punk band from the Bryansk. Bryansk, yeah.
Ну и вырыгнулся.
It's just it was just goth and hardcore punk.
And before?
And before it was Breathing of Bones, reunion of Breathing of Bones, because the first the first stuff was without me. I play
The one that you saw, was without
yeah.
Sasha.
Yeah, and the previous band was named Variola Days. We are playing punkabilly. It was a very strange but fun project. We haven't normal records. We haven't just live 3 or 4 live songs, and sometimes ago I was on a gig, and some very one very big guy walked near to me, and he, как сказать, склонился надо мной.
Bent over me.
That leaned to me and said, I suppose you're from Variola Days. And I'm sitting and drink my beer and called yes. It was a best garage punk band from Russia, and shake my hand and go out. And I was very scared. It was very strange, because it's a band that has 3 songs on the internet. We haven't any MySpace or Bandcamp, because it was not the time when all the bands have a Bandcamp, and I don't know. I suppose that Bandcamp is. Я не знаю, был Bandcamp в.
I don't think it existed at the time.
Yeah. And
Okay, guys. I'm listening to you. I'm really jealous that I'm not in Russia right now. And I really want to ask you about live gigs. Have you made a festival? I mean, Pasha used to make festivals. And Artyom with like so many releases. I can imagine it should be like amazing festivals.
Now we haven't gigs now in Russia not forbidden.
But maybe before COVID.
Before they're not forbidden now, and I think I was the last of us 3 to play. Artyom also played gigs, but he's been making some solo stuff because he's moved to Saint Petersburg, and he's gathering a new lineup of his band. And for me, the last gig I played, it was autumn. It was in Moscow, actually. And it was a great gig, and a lot of people came because they were so fucking hungry for live events. And it was a big holiday. And I've stolen the words from Artyom, and I'm giving it back to him.
Yes. So question was about last gigs.
No. The question was about you organizing a festival. Because you're working with so many great bands. It sounds like you should be organizing festivals if you had time.
Yes,
festival right now. Yeah.
In June, 6th of June, it will be festival which I'm making. Pavel's band Eva and Sasha's band the Postoronnih will be playing there. And also there will be other bands which are on my label. It will be some kind of Sierpien Records festival. I can't say the name of the festival now because I'm thinking about it, but soon it will be. And also I started to make concerts for other artists which are playing on my label. For example, next week it will be a gig of Stereopolina.
Oh my God.
And
I want to be there.
And next day it will be gig of Июльские дни, Sierpien, and Schema. 3 bands are releasing on Sierpien Records.
And this is not a virtual gig. This is an actual.
Yes, it's normal offline gigs.
So like COVID is finished in Russia.
Maybe. If we be in conspirological theories, there wasn't at all.
So it can't, something that never existed cannot finish. I got
Yes,
you. I got you.
You know, Polina, we have more serious problems in Russia than COVID.
Good
So
point.
nobody cares.
Excellent point. And okay, are you guys doing any live streaming? Or since there's no corona in Russia, like no point to do live streaming?
Last spring, I played some streams. I think it was 3 shows. 2 of them I played alone. And 1 show we played with my ex bass player, guitar player. But after this time, I haven't experienced of it.
How big of a shows now in Leningrad? Saint Petersburg, pardon. It's always going to be Leningrad for me because when I left, it was Leningrad. You know, in my head, it's stuck. How big of a shows? How many people are coming for this kind of music? Because I remember it was pretty small back in the day.
It's a bit bigger now.
But then you have a lot of these bigger bands, I think, that's kind of connected. Oh, do you know this festival, Electromechanica
Of
Festival?
course.
It's my friend, I think, books that one. So is there a connection between your scene and that scene?
No, or little.
Listen, Electromechanica is a festival organized by Anastasia Kuryokina, the widow of Sergei Kuryokin, who is our worldwide-
Skif тоже она делает.
Skiff, yeah, it's the same thing. But Sasha played at Skiff, actually.
Yeah, we're with the Postoronnih 2 years ago.
Cool.
Play at Skiff, yeah.
Oh, so you know Natasha then?
Yeah. But it's 2 different kind of stuff.
So it's still, your stuff is still staying really underground because like Artem is working with bands. I think some of them have to start breaking out, right?
Yes. For example,
Molchat Doma, like I think they.
Molchat Doma, it's post-punk Beatles, I think. But for example, Ploho, I think for 400 people, it's normal for their concert in Saint Petersburg or in Moscow. This evening, they're playing presentation of their new album in Moscow. I think it will be more than 400, maybe. I will ask Ploho's singer later about this when he returned. For example, I'm making a concert of Stereopolina next week. I hope that it will be 200 people.
Yeah, and we'll see Molchat Doma because they are to play here in 1 week or
Yes.
or 10 days, something like that.
Yes, I will be working on Moscow and St. Petersburg gig, and I will make a short
Report.
report how
Report.
people. But I think Molchat Doma will be playing for more than 1,000 people. There.
Yeah,
I think so too,
I
actually. Yeah.
suppose too. But
And
just 2
they-
years ago, we are playing me, Pasha, and
I made the
Artem.
first gig in Moscow.
Yeah, we are playing with guys from Molchat Doma. When we как собирали?
When we were gathering something like 50, 60, yeah.
Yeah,
And
yeah,
it was normal. It was normal.
yeah.
It's normal many places still, you know. Even Kalibalik is not that big and you have all these bands playing there.
No, it's not difference with from Klabalik and Russia, because it was difference of the years. And it was in в каком это году было, когда мы там играли с домами?
3 years ago, something like
Yeah,
that.
yeah, it was just 3 years ago, and yeah, Molchat Doma plays in Europe and make sold outs and play in the Russia and make the
No,
50
I
guys.
think it was late December of 2018, because we just reunited with Evridika B237, and we made a small
You're
tour,
right.
and with Molchat Doma and the Postoronnih of 3 bands. We played Minsk in Belarus, we played Saint Petersburg, and when we played Moscow, we already understood that Molchat Doma are going to be a big band.
Yeah,
Because it was absolutely different to what we saw before.
in just half
But-
of the year.
It was after their YouTube shot.
Yeah,
For
maybe.
guys played in this tour. I also was in this listener in December, and in January, in the mid of January, they had YouTube boom. After this boom,
Sash,
they started.
video.
Yes, they started to be very
I
big,
walked
and they played their first tour in Europe, and they
Я
started.
стесняюсь просто говорить про план. Извини, что...
And they started to собирать, gather. I think in that tour they gathered around 600 in Berlin, for example, or something like this in Warsaw.
Okay, guys.
Mhm.
So I have almost final questions for you. Each one of you, what's the most underrated Russian post-Soviet band that you love and you think doesn't get enough attention?
That plays nowadays, or
No.
Мать Тереза.
Mother Teresa. Okay, спасибо.
I suppose that one of the underrated Russian bands, but I want to speak about a little bit about the old bands and Matrosskaya Tishina.
Mm-hmm.
I suppose that Matrosskaya Tishina, я не знаю просто как сказать, опередили свое время.
They were ahead of their time.
Ahead of our time, yeah.
Yeah, and I don't want to speak about modern Russian bands, because we don't know that what's happened, that will happen.
Tomorrow never knows.
Yeah.
Okay,
Tomorrow,
but maybe you can say one that people probably don't know yet, but they really should check it out, like Impotenzia, maybe?
no.
No,
But
nothing.
I think they won't be able to check it.
But they will check it because they're going to see it right before you interview.
Impotenzia could not, Impotenzia did not, Impotenzia won't. And modern bands?
Well, I will tell my very personal opinion, but as a friend and as a person who co-released this records, I would say that the latest album of the Postoronnih is really underestimated, because
I think people don't like them, because I just heard one song and I'm like, okay, I'm gonna DJ this, I like this. It's like right away.
Well, they know the first album, but the second album is not so widespread, let's say, and it deserves really more. The guys have been working on it for 3 years or something. And, I was really worrying it will be shit, really.
Yes.
I thought it will be overproduced, it will be artificial. It's not. It was my.
It's not.
It's not as bad as I thought it would be.
It was a great surprise that they managed to keep it alive and to keep the vibe and all the stuff. So I was really impressed, and I had a prejudice, really, and I'm fascinated.
I agree with Pavel totally. I also released.
I didn't do it. I don't hit her. I did not. I did not.
Yes, it's really great album. For example, last month, for example, from December to April, last Deka Postoronnih album, it was the most listening album of me.
What's next for your record labels, and where can people find your stuff?
Where? On Bandcamp.
And what's next?
No. Bandcamp. What's the address, please? Okay, never mind. I'm gonna have to put some text in the video or something.
Yeah, it's the same about us. If we spell it, we all will get confused.
Sierpien Records, Bandcamp, com.
That.
Okay. Ну, мы поняли, как бы поняли. Все, понятно.
Да. SierpienRecords.bandcamp.com.
He is a special guy. Thomas, instead of that.
No gas, no masters. No, that's.
No, that's, yeah. Only commas. I mean, political parties, of course.
Let's also that's pink.
Pink dots, yeah.
We can see the legendary.
Well, okay. For us, for Ночные травы, we are working on our next release, and it will be a compilation of the early records of the band from Grenoble called Warsaw. They're having the new album, and
So that is the first album.
Yeah, they're having the new album, and it will be great. I heard 3 tracks from that album, and I think it will be their best records. Actually, their best record. And we're not doing the best records. We're doing the records we jerk on. So
we have to finish this when it's getting interesting.
But we make very interesting.
Very
photos.
interesting. Yeah.
Very interesting photos. Yeah.
So it will be the compilation of the 2 first releases, and it's great. I love the demo. I haven't heard it before, actually, and it's like early Lucy Cries, in my opinion, and it's really good. And the first EP has such a vibe. I think it's amazing, and I'm really proud we are making it.
I suppose no one listened to it before the demo.
Well, some people had the CDR, so some people used to have it. But it was in ancient times when dinosaurs walked on Earth and stuff like that.
I mean, I probably had it. I mean, it played for me, I guess. Probably. I mean, yeah, but
I
don't
think
have
that
it anymore. What?
But it was a long time ago, yeah.
They played in Prague, I think.
In Prague, yeah.
Or you told me.
Yes. You learned it from me.
I learned this from you.
But maybe I lied. I don't know.
Also possible. Окей, дорогие, спасибо огромное за интервью. Хотелось бы подлиннее, но у нас сейчас 40 минут, это как бы предел на сегодняшний момент. Огромное вам спасибо. В следующий раз in person. I'm going to say it in English now. Huge thank you for the interview, guys. Next time we're going to do it much longer, and I really hope in person in the future.
Yeah, and important disclaimer. I think all our listeners have heard some jokes about best players. So we all 3 used to be best players. So now you know these were not jokes.
Wow. Okay, that's a good finish. Спасибо.
Thank you.
Спасибо.